Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror Hell-o-ween, the podcast where Alec and Joe are going to be covering every one of the Hellraiser movies every day leading up to Halloween. And today we are talking Hellraiser 6 Hellseeker, which was directed by Rick Boda and came out in 2002. I'm your co-host Alec, and joining me for this hell ride is Joe Testa. What's up, Joe?
Not much. Thank you for that introduction.
Oh, Joe. Oh, Joe. Okay, so like it's official. Like we've reached the like horrible Hellraiser movies.
I was waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
So yes, we have begun the descent into the labyrinth. The sweet suffering has begun. I've been waiting.
Yeah.
I will say this though. I mean, we
Uh-oh.
still have quite a few movies to go,
Yeah.
but I'll say, in case anyone is going along on this hellish journey with us, I I I I don't think it is just a straight decline, a straight descent into the bowels of hell from here. I do think, we still have some variety and some peaks and valleys to come,
Okay.
just in case,
Yeah, no, I'd heard that this is like the lull period, the next like this one, the next two, and then it kind of starts to pick up again. But
Hmm. Oh, that's an interesting opinion that I might argue with, but okay.
I don't know. It's just what I've heard online. So I still have only seen these ones. So
Yeah.
yeah, this one, like, dude, this felt like a student film or something like
Mhm.
that. Like the way it was shot was just like so cheap and like
Yeah.
the plot sucked. And like I've never had a huge problem with dream sequences, and now I like can't stand it after this movie. Like
Yeah.
every 15 minutes there'd just be like, all right, something crazy's happening, just cut to dreams. He was sleeping. He was, it's whatever.
Mhm.
That none of that happened now. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Nothing matters. Nothing matters. It's kind of in general, I really don't like that Groundhog Day trope unless it's Groundhog Day, But usually in movies, I find it very frustrating. And yeah, in this, it's just nothing matters. We're just following this character who's just as confused as we are,
Yeah. Yeah.
for 90 minutes. And I'll say, I've gone on this journey a couple of times with this series, and I was kind of dreading this one, I'll be honest, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but it's kind of like a bad remake of the movie we got yesterday, Inferno.
Kind of.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's in the sense that it does a lot of what frustrated me about Inferno and very little of what I enjoyed about Inferno.
Yeah.
It's very, convoluted and confusing, and it doesn't really have any of those great visuals or, you know, uh, just or the, intriguing mystery that Inferno had. And, Inferno was no masterpiece, but I think it was better than most people would probably expect.
Yeah.
And this is what you were probably afraid these movies were going to be kind of like.
Yeah, yeah. Because, like, you're right, there are similarities between five and this one. But the thing is, with five, at least, like, the guy knew who he was and, like, what his, like, perspective on life was. Like, this guy didn't even know he was a scumbag, pretty much, like, the whole movie. He didn't even know what was going on before this whole car crash and then, lament configuration hellscape he goes through. But it was confusing. I felt like nothing like stuck with me. Like I mean I saw it yesterday. I barely remember it. Also the Allstate guy, that's like crazy. He's the
Yes.
lead. I didn't even know he was an actor. I thought he was just a commercial guy.
Yeah, I believe his character is known as Mayhem in the commercials.
Yeah,
So like everybody knows who this guy is. Yes,
yeah,
he
yeah.
he is the lead in this movie. And I mean, I actually saw him in other things before this
Huh.
and before he was, the the guy in those commercials. He was in, do you remember the short-lived Terminator TV series, the Sarah Connor Chronicles?
Oh yeah, I do on Fox. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, he was in that.
Okay.
And it's funny you say Fox because that is exactly what I feel like this movie looks and feels like at times. It
Yeah.
looks like a Fox like police procedural, you know?
Yeah, it's really washed out, like the
Oh yeah.
colors in the beginning
Mhm.
and like even the editing of like the car, the way it like crashes and stuff like that, the kissing, everything just felt really amateur.
Yeah.
And I know this is a straight to video movie, but like still compared to what we just saw, and
Mhm.
I mean, plenty of other straight to video movies are not nearly as bad as this. I mean, Return of the Living Dead 3 could have been in theaters, like that
Mhm.
was great. So many of the Phantasm movies, I love those.
Mhm.
But this one was like, okay, this is really cheap and the story sucks and the acting sucks. And dude, like it's even more annoying that they bring Kirsty back or whatever, and then they're just like, yeah, well, she's dead, maybe. I don't know, like whatever. And then we just follow this random dude. And it's just, yeah, really, really wasted. I don't
Mhm.
know. I mean, truly, the only positive I can think of is Doug Bradley looked cool. I don't know. Like
Mhm.
that's about it. Like truly the ending was stupid. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's bad. And it really, I mean, the more we're watching these, this is just more about like the series, I guess, in general. But like I said this, I think on the last one, there's like no comedy, like almost at all, which is fine. But it's
Right.
it's interesting to watch, a slasher kind of, franchise with no comedic, at all. Like the
Right.
characters aren't funny with each other. There's barely any one-liners from the killer. There's like no like relief, basically.
Yeah. And when you get to a movie like this, it's just kind of a slog to get through, you know?
Yeah.
And we do have, in the director's seat, a pretty accomplished cinematographer,
Huh.
Rick Boda. He's worked on some horror movies that I like. He shot House on Haunted Hill from '99,
Oh, okay.
and he shot Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight.
Hmm.
And I actually think, especially House on Haunted Hill, is visually a really strong movie. It has a cool look to it. So yeah, I mean, we are with this guy for two more movies after this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
I did. I knew he directed like a trilogy of these. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say, in my opinion, I don't want to get too far ahead. It does get better, at least visually, from here.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, I don't want to make excuses for the movie, but from everything I've, discovered about it, it was as, quick and dirty as you'd think it would be. I listened to a pretty short interview with Ashley Lawrence,
Hmm.
and she was asked about coming back for this movie, and she got a call 3 days before shooting asking her if she wanted this role, which was not written for her. And
Huh.
I'm going to bet, this movie was something else,
Yeah.
floating around Dimension Films before it was a Hellraiser movie. I couldn't
Definitely.
find concrete proof of that, but I'm willing to bet,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there apparently, according to Doug Bradley, who spoke on it a little bit, there was a character in it named Kirsty. I don't know if that was coincidence or just like a little, yeah, Easter egg.
Yeah.
And he said, I have her number in my cell phone. Do you want me to call her and ask her if she wants to be in it?
Yeah.
And she kind of, it seemed like reluctantly agreed, but wanted to work with Doug again, thought it would be
Sure.
fun. And she seems protective of the Kirsty role,
Hmm.
um, and kind of just thought of this movie like it's a dream. I mean, most of the movie is a dream,
Yeah. Yeah.
but or some kind of hallucination, or the afterlife, whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, she just kind of was kind of dismissive of it, and I don't blame her because this movie does kind of do Kirsty dirty, you know?
Yeah, but it's also like it kind of is weird for the character too, because like didn't didn't they end on like good terms in Hellbound, kind of? Like, weren't it's like, hey, here's and she like basically freed his spirit in a weird way,
Hmm.
right? So like why would he now be like, I want your soul? And she's like, hold on, my husband's a scumbag. How about I give you 5 souls instead? And he's like, okay, that sounds fine. It just I don't know. It just feels like I wanted an explanation of why he hates her again.
Interesting. I hadn't thought about that little final little moment between them and Hellbound.
Right.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
the filmmakers probably didn't think of that either.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could almost, if you want to make excuses, you could say, "Oh, that was Elliot." That Elliot
Yeah.
and Pinhead separated. They
Right. So
were
this is Pinhead. Right.
exactly.
Got it. Got
Yeah.
it.
But I thought, you know, if Ashley Lawrence was interested, wouldn't it have been great if they just shot this Hellseeker movie and then put into development a proper Hellraiser sequel where Kirsty confronts Pinhead, do
Yep.
kind of an H2O thing,
Yep.
but I'm sure, I mean, if you think about the way, I don't know we might have spoken on it a little bit during our Halloween 6 episode, but like Dimension didn't care about bringing back Daniel Harris for Halloween 6.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they couldn't have cared less about Ashley Lawrence coming back for the Hellraiser movie. So
Yeah. But I guess the thing is like when did you see this for the first time? Did you see it like right when it came out?
no, I jumped ship after Inferno.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then yeah, I'll talk about the other movies when we get there, but I didn't watch this one until I was like binging the series, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Because I'm trying to imagine, like, if you love these movies, like you're a diehard fan, you saw the fifth one, you're like, okay, well, it's a different, they're going to start telling the story in between bloodlines, like what was going on or whatever. But then
Mhm.
you watch this one, and you're like, what are they doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the next one, I know Kirsty doesn't come back, so you're like, because at the
Mhm.
end, maybe there's a chance that, because they give Kirsty the lemon configuration, you find out her husband's dead, and then she just walks away, and then it's credits. They
Mhm.
could have gone with her, like, yeah, like you were saying, like, an actual continuation, but they don't.
Mhm.
So I'm just like, who cares about these movies? Like,
Yeah.
who's, enjoying watching them when there's barely any continuity at this point, and they're bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I don't think, I do think the people making them, I don't want to throw them under the bus. I think they're
sure.
doing the best they can,
Right, right.
I mean, and people wanted, like, maybe I talked about this in the Halloween 6 episode, but Joe Chappelle, who did that movie and did the Halloween 6 or the Bloodlines reshoots,
Hmm.
he wanted to stay on the good side of the Weinsteins, and
Right.
he eventually he did Phantoms for them. So I'm glad that worked out for him. And so I feel like everybody's you know that worked on them are doing the best they can with the time and money they have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that much thought or care is being put into them. I think that there were, in my research, there was a script in development that was more of a, a proper sequel,
Mm.
but it was turned down because of budget concerns. And why put a script in development when Dimension probably had hundreds of low budget scripts lying around that they could just say, shoehorn Pinhead into this, and we keep the rights in case we want to do something down the line. I really think that is the end game here, unfortunately.
No, I know I've heard that before too. It was
Mhm.
just a rights game, so it's just
Mhm.
like this is so freaking stupid. But
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess jumping into the plot a little bit. I mean, there really isn't much, but
Mhm.
something that I don't really like. Something we've talked about these with a million other movies. I'm like obsessed with finding out. Okay, what year does this movie take place, and where is it shot, or like at least supposed to take place? Like I'm always looking at license plates. I'm always looking at signs. Like I love that stuff. I could not for the life of me tell you where this movie took place. It was so like generic office, generic alley, generic everything. And I don't know. I didn't like that. It just gave the movie no sense of like, I don't know, not culture, but just like if it was New Orleans, like, it would be interesting. Like, there'd be something there. But this movie's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just whatever.
Well, it's because it was shot in Canada, and like so
Yeah.
much that is shot in Canada, you know, they, I feel like they're so concerned about not letting you know it's Canada,
Yeah.
it strips any character away from
Yeah.
it. And not just this movie, but I feel like that's kind of a common thing when things are shot in Canada.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something about this movie I just didn't like. Like it just felt like
Mhm.
there was just it was like soulless. But one thing that's like really funny to me is how every woman just loves this guy. Like every woman he interacts with, his boss, his next door neighbor, the masseuse or not the masseuse, the whatever, the acupuncturist, they all just want to fuck him the second
Yeah.
they see him. I was like, well, what
Yeah.
is up with this?
Yeah, you'd think they were under some kind of spell or something.
Yeah.
But then again, like everything we're experiencing in this movie is his own personal hell, right? I mean, the only thing, I mean, these are people he has had affairs with, I guess.
Yeah, because the,
Um,
the boss, because that's where
right.
Kirsty's all mad at. But isn't Kirsty? Well, okay, that's a contradiction. It doesn't matter. There's gonna be so many. But she's like, I'll give you 5 souls. But
Mhm.
he didn't. Did he sleep with the acupuncturist before this accident? You know, because he gets the
Yeah,
business card to go to this because of the stress of the accident.
right.
So it's
Yes.
like, how
Yeah.
did this even? Kirsty like she like saw in the future.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he some of these people, like the cop, he didn't interact with these people in his real life. He's just, I guess, he's there dead on the side of the road, and these people are over him. The people that are the co-stars in this movie are just kind of over his body, and
You're
they're
right.
in his hell.
Yeah.
So it's where I feel like this movie does steal some tropes from other kind of trends that were happening at the time. Obviously, like the Sixth Sense, the idea of the main character being dead, for the whole movie. And there was also, I remember this movie Identity from like
Oh yeah.
'02, I think.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of thought of that. I just thought I could imagine. Remember when I told you last time Rob Zombie, when he worked for Dimension, he'd get calls like whatever was number one at the box office,
Yeah.
incorporate the elements into the script he was writing.
Sure.
Like I was thinking, Sixth Sense was probably on that list, maybe Identity, some other movies I was thinking about while I was not paying a lot of attention to this movie.
Dude, yeah. I mean, it kind of feels like a porno too. I mean, just because of all like
Yeah,
the almost and some sex scenes or whatever. But
very like
yeah,
Skinamax. Yeah.
yeah, like just shitty music, the way it's shot, it's just like, oh my
Oh God,
God.
the opening credits, like, we talked about, Hellbound when that Christopher Young theme started, and
Yeah.
how, and then, I mean, I'll say the past couple of movies, we are we are very far away from that Christopher Young, an incredible score. But
Yeah.
if you didn't know we were in direct-to-video land, when you started the movie, I think the score and the opening credits will give it away real quick.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's like unrecognizable, like with Star Wars, it's like you gotta have the Star Wars theme song, or even Jaws, all of those. But this,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah,
Mhm.
Michael Myers, like, I mean, they've done renditions,
Right.
but they're always still in the movie.
Yeah.
These are just, yeah, it's unrecognizable. Um, all right, there's one thing I thought was kind of cool. It's not really,
I mean, I think there are moments that are passable.
yeah.
I'm having trouble thinking
I
of
got
them.
one.
Go ahead.
It's not even that cool, but
Okay.
the scene where he just like coughs up the like
Oh,
worm thing, I was
yeah.
like, what the fuck? And then at the
Right.
end when it's he's taking it out of his mouth, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, so that was like happening in the I was like, all right, that's kind of
Yeah.
okay for
Yeah.
like 1 second.
And the effect is pretty good too. Like I
Yeah.
think it's a mix of some digital and some practical. So yeah, I mean, I'll take a win where I can get it.
But it also kind of did the same thing from Hell or Inferno. That
Mhm.
was like there's like this Cenobite that's like always walking around him, like that he went up to his apartment and like looked across at him and stuff like that. But we like
Yeah,
never find out who that even is, right?
right. Yeah, and we only get a really brief glimpse of another kind of Cenobite killing his neighbor, I think.
Yeah. The woman. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's having an affair with the lady next door, and then she,
Right.
yeah,
And
it's
then maybe we see them in the background at the end, behind Pinhead when he's talking to Kirsty. But
yeah,
the Cenobites play no role here. I mean, even Pinhead is another glorified cameo.
literally, like literally,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, yeah, the plot, I mean, just like in the quickest nutshell, is basically like Kirsty and her husband are driving. They're like arguing, but they're like kind of making up, but they're not. And they're like kissing while driving, which is like, what are you doing? And they crash. And then Kirsty dies, but this guy, her husband, Trevor, survives. And then he just kind of goes through sequences of dreams throughout the whole movie, trying to figure out what's going on, talking to the police constantly. He has a job. I don't like know what it's like called like Cubit Corp or something like that. But he lives in a fucking shithole. So I'm like, what's going on? You're married, like both of you seem like normal people to a degree. Like, why are you living in a fucking dump? Like it was weird. We find out that Kirsty has money basically from her father and her uncle, like leaving it to her or whatever, which is like Frank had money, but okay. Um, so they try to give a little sprinkle, I guess, of a connection. And that's basically it. I mean, towards the end, this guy's having affairs the whole movie, and he's working with this guy at work, and they had this grand scheme to kill Kirsty, steal her money, but he didn't know anything about her past. He didn't know about this lament configuration stuff and or anything like that. But he has these moments where he's like meeting with this like Doug Bradley character and he buys a lament configuration from him and then gives it back to Kirsty, but he doesn't know about this.
Yeah, I guess Pinhead is pulling these strings.
Okay.
He wants to get the box to Kirsty, I believe.
Then
I
give me
mean,
a
no,
scene,
yeah,
like of him
yeah,
being like, "You got away, like I wanted you," and like something,
yeah,
just something to make me not think this is so random.
right. And I mean, and obviously none of this is how this works. Like Pinhead is outside of hell, and he's now like a shopkeeper, and like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that that Dr. Allison woman, which is just like the last one, he's got like a therapist basically he can talk to. I thought she was gonna be Pinhead,
Hmm.
but nope.
Hmm.
Pinhead was just this guy he like met at a random place. There was one error I saw, which is like, of course there is, but there's one that actually stood out to me. When he's talking to his coworker or whatever, and he's like, "You got to go relax and go see Sage. She knows how to like take care of things." And it
Hmm.
says 202 on the card and the address or whatever. His apartment is 202. When he goes to Sage's, it's 206. And I was like, these people just fucked up. And they wrote the same apartment number as his apartment and the card or whatever. And they just didn't think, like, oh, fuck, it should have been 206. Like, and of course I noticed that because I'm a psychopath, but I'm sure there's even more than that. But that was like something I was like, ah, boy, this is one of those movies. They show a close up of it, and you're like, they don't even care about this.
Oh, that's funny. Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Not good.
Yeah, I mean, all of this builds up to this confrontation with, Pinhead and Kirsty. This should be, kind of a big moment.
Yeah.
Um, and apparently, once Ashley Lawrence signed on, there was a very quick rewrite, very quick, as you can
Yeah,
imagine.
sure, sure.
And that's probably when they came up with a lot of this. And there actually is some deleted scenes that you could find online. And this conversation was a bit longer, and I don't know why they cut it out. There were more references to like Frank and Julia. I
That's what
mean,
I
why?
want. That's all I
Yeah,
want.
yeah. Why lose that?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Um, but essentially, Pinhead wants Kirsty's soul, and she makes a deal with him to bring him five souls instead.
Yeah, yeah.
So we are to believe that Kirsty went on a killing spree, right?
That's what you're led to
Uh,
believe. Yeah.
and how does that even work? Was she shooting people? Because wouldn't she have to get them the box? And wouldn't they have to open the box for Pinhead to take them?
Oh, yeah,
I
because
mean, it's not like you die, it's not like that. Like it's not like you die and then he just gets you in the afterlife. Like he
Yeah.
comes from the box and takes you. It's
Right, because they just die like in his dream sequence.
right,
Like, his neighbor or his boss comes over and then he's watching the film and it's like she's getting killed by Cenobites, but like
right.
did
I mean, all of that is bullshit. I think
yeah.
what we're to believe is that, I mean, maybe Chrissy did
Yeah.
get them the box. I don't know, but it just seems like she shoots people,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, that's so confusing.
Yeah, it makes no
Ah.
sense. I mean, I sympathize. I really sympathize with the people who, uh, had to make this work. You had some original spec script, and then here's a couple days to make it the next Hellraiser movie. I mean, it's an impossible task, and yeah, this one this one's a doozy. I will say though, like the idea of a killer, bringing Pinhead victims, like
Sure.
there's something there.
Sure. Yeah.
That could, if you had the time to develop it and, seamlessly, blend it with the into the Hellraiser universe, there's something there. But,
Yeah,
just like I thought Inferno, I think that did pretty much everything much better. But, I
definitely.
think with more time and development, it could have been a really great Hellraiser movie. But yeah, as it is, no, this one's tough.
I mean, for me, it would go a mile if they just kept referencing the old ones and like just tried to make some sort of connection. And they brought Kirsty back, so it's like you have a lot of ammo here and they just
Yeah.
don't use it. So that's the thing. When it starts to feel completely disjointed, there's
Mm,
no connection between any of the movies now, like not even five to six. Like there's zero connection between
yeah.
five and six. And at least with Kirsty there, there's a tiny little fraction, but
Mhm.
wasn't there one thing that the Doug Bradley character said about how it was built by LaMarche or Marchant or whatever?
Yes.
Okay, so at least they're acknowledging it was still made by the same guy. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, all
I'm
right.
trying.
So we got
These movies are starting to
that.
blend together now, but yeah, I believe so.
I think the Doug Bradley out of Pinhead makeup, I think he did say something like these boxes
Yeah.
have been built. But that's another thing, dude. I don't know if you noticed this. Maybe I was screwed up, but the Doug Bradley character puts the box down, but it's
Mhm.
like not the lament configuration box. It's like a cube. And then the next
Right.
shot, it's the lament configuration. So did I miss something or was that just like
No. I think, in the moment, I feel like I kind of understood. I don't know if it was because I'm not even going to try. I don't know.
it was
I
like
don't
a
know.
paperweight, and then when he took it out, it like turned into the lament configuration. I don't know. It was unless I missed something, I
Yeah.
feel like they were like, fuck, did we leave the lemon configuration at the studio? I don't know. What do we have? What do we have? We have this thing, and they just like put it there. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, I'm not even going to try. I don't know.
Well, I don't really have much else to say on this guy. I mean, you got any thoughts? Last minute thoughts?
No, no, just with Ashley Lawrence back and knowing she never comes back, spoiler alert,
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
so yeah, just a missed opportunity. And yeah, my least favorite in the series, I think pretty easily.
So far, me too. By
So
by
far, so
far.
far,
Yeah, by
so far.
far.
Mhm.
Oh, last thing. I heard this is the final movie. I heard that Clive Barker actually gave notes, at least for that last scene. I heard he gave notes. I don't know if that's true. It might not be true at
Interesting.
all, but I heard this is the absolute last time he's ever even remotely had anything to do with it, which could not be true.
Right.
But I
Okay.
did. Which maybe I believe because the last scene is like slightly better
Yeah,
than
I
the rest of
mean,
the movie.
and I wouldn't be surprised if Doug reached out to him the way he reached out to Ashley and like,
Here's the
look,
script. What can you
you
do?
you got anything? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know. And then he just improvises on set, and it's just like, that's great. And it's like, right,
Mhm.
right, right, right. All right. Well, I guess we're moving on. The next one is Hellraiser Deader. That's part seven. So, yeah. All right, well, everybody, thank you very much for listening into our discussion on Hellraiser 6, Hellseeker. And we will see you tomorrow with Hellraiser 7. But if you do want to go back and listen, we're releasing an episode every single day leading up to Halloween. And we released the first episode back in 2020 and then the remake, I don't know, 2022. So check those out. And otherwise, we will see you tomorrow.